Welcome to the Sourcing Industry Landscape Podcast, powered by SIG.org and hosted by Dawn Tura.
Well, Renee, thank you so much for agreeing to be part of this podcast.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
So you are the Director of Strategic Sourcing Procurement for your company, is that correct?
That's correct, yes. And I'm responsible for a team of 9 people in Germany, for 9 employees in Germany, and we are responsible for negotiating contracts.
Okay, and Multiparts, tell us about your company.
The company is a purchasing service provider in Germany, so our work is to improving the processes from our customers, especially for automation.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. And is it a large company?
What's the definition of large? We have a turnover of approximately $330 US, I think, and we have 150 employees currently. Yeah.
So a turnover or income of about
it's a
up in the
turnover
hundreds of
company.
millions.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, so Renee, we're going to take a quick break for a word
Okay.
from our sponsor.
Thank you so much.
Sourcing Industry Group, or SIG, is the premier global sourcing association and is widely known as a forum for providing thought leadership, networking, and training opportunities. Another central element of SIG is training. SIG is the parent organization for SIG University, which was founded on the ideals of elevating sourcing and risk professionals to deliver strategic value to their organizations and transform their careers. It was created at the request of SIG members who saw an educational training gap for today's workforce and offers one-of-a-kind certification and training programs for professionals seeking deep expertise in sourcing, governance, risk, intelligent automation, and more for themselves and for their teams. We perfected e-learning for adults before it was necessary. Our proven model for adult learners provides a flexible environment with online lessons, quizzes, and discussion forums moderated by expert faculty. Programs are offered in several different delivery models depending on you or your organization's need. Open cohort semesters start on average every 1.5 months, while closed cohorts for teams of 20 or more can start at any time. In addition, we also have self-paced or fast-track options. You can learn more about all of these offerings on the SIG website or by reaching out to one of our representatives. So make sure to take advantage of all that SIG has to offer for both members and non-members alike, because there really is something for everyone.
Okay, so we're back from break. I just want to ask you, so you're from Germany,
Yeah.
hence the accent, but do you live in the United States now?
We moved in mid of August to the US, to Newport News. Yeah, because I got a project here in Newport News through the company Multiparts Incorporated.
Okay.
It's one of our sister company here in the US, and we try to figure out if it is possible to launch our marketplace solution here in the US.
Wow.
So we don't know that business well currently. So this is one of my tasks here in the US, to figure out the competitors, to figure out the commercial and technical issues what we were facing off here.
Wow, so you've got a big task ahead of you.
Yes, and
Now-
in a big country.
In a big country, and it's totally different, over here in the US.
It's totally different. It's the first thing what is totally different is that although it is a Western country, the culture is totally different.
Very different culture.
Totally different. Very open-minded. Very, just like to say, no pressure on making mistakes, because you always find a solution to make it better. In Germany, it's a bit different. If you make mistakes, it's always a bad stamp on your vita or something.
Really?
Yeah. So this is the difference.
No, I think we like experimentation more over here. I think we like to experiment and then fail fast if it doesn't work.
Pardon?
I think we like to experiment
Yeah.
here in the United States,
Yeah.
and then fail fast if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Let's try it. If it doesn't work, it's okay.
Yeah.
But let's just close it down quickly. Don't waste money and time.
Yeah, and that's the difference between the US and especially Germany. We figure out we don't want to try anything if it has 80% or 85%. It always must 100%. And so it takes time. And sometimes if you make mistakes, then everyone says, is it the right way? Or shall we break up that project or something? So yeah, that's the difference between Germany and the US.
Well, good. And so where, you said you moved to where?
In Newport News.
Newport News.
Yeah,
And where's
Virginia.
that? Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay. All
so
right.
coastal peninsula, 20 minutes from the ocean.
Oh, wow.
So
very different.
A perfect match.
Yes.
And yeah, and very different. Oh, the temperature is very different because on Monday we start with, I think it was 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and now we are above 100, I think. So totally different too. Yeah.
Totally different. So this is your first time to a SIG Summit?
Yes.
And tell me about your experience so far.
I was very excited after seeing the schedule because there were a lot of topics that we are facing off in Germany too. Most things like AI or AI solutions. What I didn't find was things with a sustainability factor, I guess, because in Germany we are facing a lot of regulations from departments regarding sustainability, compliance. I think every single month there's a new idea from someone what a company should bring to their business in Germany, and that's currently a situation which is very difficult for us because we have our daily business, and beneath the daily business we have so much to do with all these regulations, laws, in case of sustainability and compliance, of course. These topics are good, and it's good to have them, but sometimes it is very...
It's very onerous on you.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, because you are not able to do your business. Or you are able, but you have much, much, much work than, I think, 10 years ago.
Yes, so much more work.
And you don't earn money with that.
Yes. Well, and I think, I will say that Europe is ahead of us on sustainability. It ebbs and flows in different pockets within the United States right now in North America. And there's some pushback on it, by, unfortunately, people in government are pushing back on some of it. They don't want to be pushing those efforts and adding more regulations. And yet at the same time, we're sitting here in Scottsdale and it's 15 degrees above normal.
Yeah.
So the climate change is real.
Yeah. The climate change is real.
Yeah, and as you've heard, this will be a carbon neutral event, and we will offset all of the carbon from the huge amounts of electricity we've had to consume, and the air conditioning, and the rooms, and the travel. But we will make the event carbon neutral because we care deeply about it.
I was very surprised the last couple of days because you have always sun here in Arizona or in Scottsdale especially, and that we didn't see some photovoltaic. I don't know if you know what it is.
No.
To build electricity from the sun.
Oh yes.
In Germany, I think I don't know the figures exactly, but 35% I think of the roofs from the houses are with these photovoltaic things. So I was just wondering because here the sun is all the time there.
All the time,
and you are not.
So they do have a lot of solar capture out in the deserts, and so that's where you'll see huge solar farms set up. So yeah, they do a lot of that.
So they're outside and not on the roofs of the houses.
And ironically, we used to have regulations within certain neighborhoods that wouldn't allow you to put solar panels on your house.
Really?
That has been overcome all the way up to the Supreme Court. Now nobody can tell you can't have a solar panel. So that's because they didn't like the looks of them in certain neighborhoods. And now it's anyone that can do anything about saving energy is good. And in fact, what they did here is eliminated all grass. You cannot put in a grass lawn.
Yeah.
So the only grass you see in Scottsdale now will be on a golf course, of course.
Yeah, but I saw the artificial grass here in the hotel.
An artificial grass, yes.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah. So they're trying in pockets, like I said, to try and make it more and more green. ESG overall, environmental, social, and governance, is slowly catching on. While there are mandates about it, a lot of pushback on the ESG.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of companies that are struggling to, how do I improve my ESG score? but I can't be too vocal or too public about it.
Mhm.
So it's an interesting
Got it.
dilemma that some of them
Yeah,
are
it's a
facing as
dilemma.
well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we have the same situation in Germany, for example. But we have, I think, in 2018, we found a good partner to deal with all these ESG things, with a supply chain act things that comes from the government. And now we are with, I don't know if you know the word CBAM. It's a carbon border mechanism adjustment.
Uh-huh.
So you have to find out which product comes from which country, and where is the raw material from, and if it is on a special list, you have to fill out a form with approximately 100 questions, and that's what I said earlier. That brings us apart from doing our daily business.
Yes,
So
it's so much more work.
for every single order, you have to make that check.
Yeah. And it's, in the one place we do it well in the United States is food products. You can usually find out right down to what field something was grown, or where did that cow reside and what was their diet. So they're doing a really good chain of custody on food products now, because people want to know that you're using sustainable methods, that it's a sustainable environment. And the government now is starting to say, you now need to know your suppliers' suppliers. Who are your suppliers? And, the pandemic showed us that we didn't have enough visibility into that. We thought we had diversified because we bought parts from Thailand and, Vietnam.
Yeah.
But we didn't realize that they were both buying their components from the same factory in China.
Yeah.
And that's where it came back to bite us. When China shut down, it's like, well, I'm diversified. I'm really not, because if it's only the top layer, underneath it, raw materials are coming from the exact place.
You don't know the entire supply chain.
Yeah.
So that was a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. And so now we're going to be responsible for our fourth parties and the carbon all the way through our supply chain. So I think as the technology gets better and the science gets better, we're going to be able to start identifying our suppliers.
And with the help of maybe AI, I don't know if there are some ideas of creating software that could find out which products have all these raw material in that you should report. That would be a great help, because if you do it manually, it's sometimes a waste of time.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
And there's no additional benefit,
No.
Tangible benefit for the person doing the work.
Yeah.
It just takes more time.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you do come back to another SIG Summit.
Of course. Is it always here in Scottsdale?
No, this is the first time we've been in Scottsdale. So in spring, it'll be in Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
So it'll be up in the mountains. It'll be beautiful. Fall next year, we'll be in Palm Desert.
Okay.
So we try and go easterly and westerly, or west and east, as much as we can.
Yeah.
So then we're in Nashville, Tennessee, in 26, and then we're back here again.
Sounds perfect to me.
So we've got the dates all the way through 2026.
So I'm allowed to stay in the US until I think April 2026. So this is where my visa is valid. So I have a lot of possibilities to visit you again at the SIG.
I would love to have you back and welcome you back, Rene. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the Sourcing Industry Landscape podcast through iTunes or your favorite podcast app. Want to nominate yourself or someone else for an interview? Email us at podcast@sig.org.